Hello friends, welcome back to Database Academy. I am thrilled to have you here for part 3 of our interview questions and answers series focused on SQL and PLSQL. In case you have missed our previous session, we covered a lot of questions and answer in part 1 and part 2. If you haven't checked that, you can find the link in the description section below. Take a moment to check that out and enhance your knowledge. So let's start with some insightful questions and detailed answer that will not only help you in interview but also strengthen your understanding of these important topics. So let's start. See, so the very first question that interviewer may ask you, like, what is the list aggregate function? So list aggregate function is a built-in function in Oracle which is used to concatenate values from multiple rows into a single rows with a specified delimiter. So we can specify the delimiter here. There are two parameters with this list aggregate function. First is column name, on which column we want to apply the list aggregate functions, and delimiter, it can be a comma, a star, or anything, whichever we want to use that. So there are two ways we can use this list aggregate function. First is without group by and second is with group by. So in the first case, all the rows will be concatenate into a single rows. In second scenario, if we use a group by, then we can get the result based on the group by column. Let's see how it is practically it is implemented. So let's consider any. So this is the first example without group by list aggregate function. So here you can see that I have mentioned let's select list. This is the column name, employee name, and this is from the employee table. So if I execute this, you can see that we will get the all the employee name with comma separated. So this is the delimiter which here I have mentioned the comma. So you can see all the employee names are displaying here. But if we use a group by clause, then so based on the group by column, it will generate the result. So here you can see that based on the department ID wise, it is displaying the employee. So all the employees which are working under department ID 101 are displaying here, and so on. Let's see the next question. So next question is, what is the dual table? So dual table which automatically created by Oracle database itself when we install it. It is used for SQL query purpose, does not store actual data. So dual table does not hold any data. It's just used for querying the SQL. The dual table is present by default in Oracle, but not in all the database system. So here all the other databases like Postgres, SQL Server, MySQL. So there this dual table will not be available. Dual table is in the schema of sys user and accessible by all the user which we create. It has only one column which is called as dummy, and it has the data type of varchar2, and the size of that column will be 1 only. And if we say that if we execute select star from dual, so it will display X only. So the output will be X. Select star from dual. If we execute this, we'll get a output as an X. It serves as a dummy table to retrieve constant value on perform calculation without referencing an actual data table. So in some cases we want to display the current system date. So we generally write select sys date from dual to display the current date and time. So same kind of thing we can do with let's say we want to get the next sequence val or current sequence val, or we want to do some mathematical operation, that time also, like select 2 plus 2 from the dual, the output will be 4. So these kind of stuff we can do using this dual table. Now 23C database onwards, that dual table will be an optional. So like other database, dual table is not there. In other database, we don't need to mention here from dual. We can just execute, select state, and it will display the result. But here in the Oracle database, it is mandatory to use this from and dual table. But now 23C onwards, this will becomes the optional. So if we perform a select sysdate plus sysdate from the dual, what will be the result? So the result will give us the error, because we cannot perform sysdate plus sysdate. We can perform a sysdate plus 1. Let's say we want to add one more days in the current date. That can be possible. But if we perform sysdate plus sysdate, it will give us the error. So we cannot perform this operation, sysdate plus sysdate. Okay. Let's see the next questions. How to display the third highest salary in the employee table. So we can use the dense rank to perform this one. So dense rank is used for ranking purpose. So here you can see that the inner query select employee name salary dense rank over order by salary descending. So employee who is having the highest salary will be on the top side. That's why we have mentioned order by salary descending. And here this column we have given as an alias salary rank, and on top of that we have added one more select statement, select star from inner query we are using to generate the output. And here again we are adding where condition salary rank equal to the number of position which we want to check that. Let's say we want to find second highest, we just mentioned 2, and to find the third highest we just need to mention here 3. So it will give us the result based on the ranking. So let's see the next question. What is view, and explain different type of view. So view is a virtual table that is based on a result of a select query. So it does not store the data itself, but it provides a way to present the result of a query. So basically view is just based on the select statement. So the purpose of the view is simplify the complex query, encapsulating the logic, and provide a security layer by controlling access to a certain column or rows. So how we can implement the security layer here? We can write a let's say if we have an employee table and it has a salary column also. So salary is a confidential column which everybody should not have the access, right? So we will create a view without the salary column. Let's say employee ID, employee name, these only basic details, and provide the access to the junior so that he can work on this with the employee detail. Let's see the different type of view. So there are so many type of view. Simple view. So simple view is based on a single table, okay, and we can perform a DML operation on a simple view because it's a depend on a single table. So we can do a DML operation on that view. Second is complex view. So if we are using any group by clause, join, and aggregate function, these kind of stuff, if we are using, then it will be considered as a complex view. So we cannot perform a DML operation directly in a view, but yes, there is a way to perform that. We'll see that later. Then we have a materialized view. So materialized view is totally different from the normal view because you hold the data like a normal base table, and we can create an index on that materialized view, and we need to refresh that materialized view to get the updated data. Next we can see that updatable view. So there are some views which we can update, perform a DML operation. So as I said that if we are creating a simple view, that we can perform a DML operation on that. Next is read only view. So if we are creating a view and we don't want anybody to perform any DML operation on that view, we can mention that with read only command. So when we are creating a view, we just need to mention the with read only command so that nobody can perform any DML operation on that view. Let's see the next question. Can we create a view based on a table which is not exist? So the answer is yes, we can create a view based on a table which is not exist using force command. So if we are using a force keyword, then it will create a view without the table existing. Next question is, can you update a complex view? Yes, we can update using that instead of trigger. We can perform the DML operation. Next question is, what is the difference between normal view and the materialized view, and how to refresh materialized view? As I said previously, materialized view holds the data like the base table, but in normal view it does not hold the data. It just based on the selected statement. When we execute the view, internally it executes the select statement which we write to create the view. But in materialized view, it behaves like a base table. So it holds the data. We can create index on that to improve the performance of fetching the record that we cannot do in a normal view. To refresh the materialized view, refresh means here to get all the updated data from the base table to a materialized table. We need to, for that purpose, we need to use this refresh command. So we can use dbms underscore mview dot refresh to get all the latest update from the base table to a materialized view. Let's see the next question. What is inline view? So inline view is a select statement nested within the from clause of another queries. It allows you to create a virtual table on the fly within the scope of larger query. So if we are using that inline view, so you can see that there is an inner query and top of that there is a outer query. Okay, so inner query will execute and provide the data which will display here using the output using the outer query, and this can be used in further joining. Let's see the next questions. What is the difference between inline view and subquery? So as I said, inline view is used in the from clause and act as a table, whereas a subquery is used clause and provide a result set to be used in an outer query. Another difference is that inline view can be referenced multiple times in the same query. We don't need to write same query again and again. But subquery can be referenced only once in a same query. Then if we want to use it again, we need to write the same query. So that's the benefit of inline view. Additionally, inline view can be used to simplify the complex query, whereas the subquery are used to retrieve data that is needed for the main query. So these are the difference between inline view and the subquery. Let's see the next question. What is the difference between join and union? So join is used when you want to retrieve the related information data from multiple tables and there is a common column to make a join. But in unions, when you want to combine the result set from different select queries, such as when query similar data from the different table, there is no common column to make a join. In that case, we will use the union. So join is performed using the join keyword and invoke a specified condition for matching rows between table. So join keyword is used when we are using the join. When we are using the union, we need to use union or union all keyword that require the select statement being combined, have the same number of columns and compatible data types. So let's say in union all, if we have a first select statement have 4 columns and second select statement have 3 columns, then we will get an error. Or if we have a different data type, so that time also we will get a error. So all the number of columns and their data type should be matched for all the select statement. Then only union and union all will work. Let's see the next question. What's the difference between count one and count star? So count star return the total number of rows including row that contain the null value. So if we are using count one, then it will consider only not null values. Okay, so if we have any null rows, that will not be considered in count one. So that's the difference between both. Let's see the next question, SQL statement execution sequence. So when we write a select statement, this is how we start with select these columns, and from table name then we add where condition, then we apply group by, and then on top of that group by we used having clause, and then order by, and finally limit clause, right? So this is how we write our queries. But internally how Oracle perform the query execution is, it start from the from clause, it check the table from where we need to fetch the data, then it apply the filters on the top, it apply the filters on the rows, and then there is a in the group by, this is where the SQL query check if you have an aggregation function, and then having clause will be used. So having required a group by statement. Okay, so that's having is apply on top of the group by clause. Then after that the select statement or the column which we need to display will be comes in a picture. Then after that order by. So order by clause, this is how it will sort the data. And finally limit clause is used to limit the number of rows when we are fetching the data from the select statement. So this is how the execution sequence perform when we execute any select statement internally. Now let's see the next question, how to display row as in column. So we can display row values as column using pivot function. So pivot function is built-in function. We can use it to convert the row into a column. So here you can see that we need to write main query. This is like inner query, select department ID name from the employees, and top of that we are using pivot and saying that max employee name from department ID 101, 2 and 3. So when we are executing this select statement, we are getting the employee name based on the department ID which we have mentioned here. So 101 John, 102 Jane and 103 is null. This is how we can convert the row as in column. Next question is difference between where clause and the having clause. So where clause is used to filter the record from the table, that is based on a specific condition, right? And having clause is used to filter the group result. So having clause always used with the group by, right? So that's the difference between where clause and having clause. So this is the end of today's video. I hope you found the content valuable and that it has expanded your knowledge of SQL and PLSQL. Please subscribe my channel to stay updated with latest content including tutorial, interview tips and many more. Feel free to drop your queries and thoughts in the comment section below. I am here to help you. Thank you once again for tuning in and being part of Database Academy. Happy learning, and I look forward to seeing you in next video.